Hey guys, and congratulations on the purchase of your Telegraph LT. So today we're going to do a bit of a handover walkthrough for you. So come on, there's no better place to start than let's head to the front of the camper. So up the front of the camper you have your hitch 3.5 ton drop on hitch. In behind it a mechanical handbrake, and you also have your breakaway as well. Then in behind that you have the Austrack XO750 jockey wheel. Dual wheel jockey wheel, very easy to use. You have a winch as well, so for when your lid's over you can hold your lid down in place. Behind it you have a cold water tap. And here you have 2 taps plus a gas bayonet. So when you send your hot water system up, the really cool thing about the Telegraph LT is that you can actually feed the water through the hot water system back into the camper and then have hot water to the sink. Now in behind that fitting there, you'll also see you have your mesh stone guard, and then behind that you've got a 20 litre jerry can mount, as well as 2 9-kilo gas mounts with a built-in regulator, and you also have 1 pigtail as well, which makes it very easy to choose which bottle you want to take your gas from. Now we'll head around the driver's side and see what we've got down there. So first thing you'll notice as you come around the driver's side, you've got your storage compartment. We'll open that up, drop that down. So here you have a shelf with 2 drawers that go a whole way through. And then in the front, a really big storage area as well that also has your fire extinguisher. Now as we move along the camper, you'll also got the fitting point for when you're at a powered site and you can hook up to mains water. Very easy to use, you just unscrew, plug a hose in, and away you go. If you're off-grid, 120 litre freshwater tank, this is the fill point here. So same principle as the fuel tank on your car, you just take the lid off, put your garden hose in, fill it up. On the other side of the camper there is a gauge on the control panel, which I'll show you soon. You're just filling it up to full and that'll give you 120 litres of fresh water. In behind it, you have another storage area here with a little hidden treat. This is the access point for the water pump for when you're using that 120 litre freshwater tank. So very easy for maintenance or servicing. And then in behind that as well, you've got your charging point. So this is a 15 amp inlet. You will need a 10 to 15 amp lead to be able to charge it. And 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off is the best way to go. So plug it in, let it charge for 2 weeks, turn it off for 2 weeks, let it charge for 2 weeks, turn it off for 2 weeks. The reason you do that is it keeps your batteries active, and the charging system in there will always trickle charge it and keep them topped up. So as we come around the back of the camper, first thing you'll notice you have your spare wheel mount at the rear with your number plate holder in front. And then down here below you've got one on this side and one on that side. These are your recovery points. So always bring them out to a central point and pull from there so it doesn't put any strain on your camper. And then just in behind it as well, you've got your gas bayonet, which is used for the kitchen. And we'll get to that now. So as we come around the passenger side of the Telegraph LT, we're going to go to the kitchen. So 2 quick release latches, opens it up. You push the 2 little blue tabs down, like so, and slide it out. Once it slides out, it will lock into position. Now you have your dish rack or drainage rack on top. There's a little bungee on the side. Lift that off, fold it over, and then we'll go around the back of the kitchen. And just in here you have this silver hose. Now this silver hose will go down and plug into that gas bayonet just like this. 2 other really cool features of the Telegraph LT kitchen are the windbreak and the little shelf. So watch this. So you have 2 little brackets on the side. You're going to stand the arms up like that. And it sits in like that as well. So perfect little spice rack. You have your drainage rack. This kitchen really does come with everything. So we've covered the kitchen, or have we? Not only that, it comes with one more amazing feature as well. So what you'll do is put your lid down on your cooktop. You then grab this out, and this is a windbreak. So this just slots in the back in the little hole. 2 sides go in, 1, 2, easy as that. Stand your lid back up, built-in windbreak as well. It has more features than you'll know what to do with. So now we've touched on the heart of the Telegraph LT, let's get to the brains of the Telegraph LT. Just come and check out this easy to use control panel. So up the top you have the gauge for your freshwater tank. Very, very easy. When it's on the left it's empty. As you fill it up, the little dial will move all the way to full. And then all the buttons below are clearly labelled too. So the first one, main switch. If you press that, think of that as master control for your camper. If you want anything to operate in the camper, that switch has to be on. And then you go from there. The lamp switch gives power to all the lights in the camper. Fridge switch will give power to the fridge slide. Ciggy socket will give power to all your USB points, your 12 volt points and DC points around the camper. Pump, very, very easy. Turn that on, your pump will pump water. Turn it off, your pump will stop. Don't leave your pump running, only turn the pump on when you want to use water off grid. Next to that you have left light. This will give power to the light just above the kitchen. DC will give power to the little DC ports, and then dimming will turn the outside light from white to yellow. This control panel, super easy to use, located out the front of the camper and very well thought out. So we've done the heart, we've done the brains of the Telegraph LT. Now it's time to do the tummy. In here, you have your fridge slide. So we'll slide that one out. So you've got a dual zone fridge freezer. So you can have both of these freezer, both of these fridge, one freezer, one freezer, one fridge. It's a bit of a tongue twister, I know. All you have to do is set the temperature in each compartment, and then that compartment will do what you've set it to. Really easy to use control panel at the front. So a little fan on the inside, the button for that operates the cooling fan. So when the fridge is running and that's closed, you want that fan on. And then your Anderson plug will plug in here, and that gives power to the fridge as well. Done the full outside of the Telegraph LT. Now we need to get into the setup. You'll see these little latches here. You're going to lift them up like that, drop them over. We're going to undo all of them and then flip the lid over. So we've got the last latch, drop that down, and you'll see the roof will actually lift up a little bit. And what we're going to do now is just walk it over. So once we've got it over, then we go around the front, we'll hook the winch up and just wind it down to keep the lid nice and level. So you've got your little D-shackle at the front, you're just going to put that through, screw it in, and then wind the winch down until it sits nice and level, just like that. From here we'll go inside and extend the poles up. We're going to come to the rear of the camper, we're going to lift the bar up, very easy to do. Reach inside, grab the bar, stand it up, easy as that. Now we'll go in the front and extend the front up. So what we'll do now is extend the poles up. So Matt will extend the rear one up first. Lock that in, and then he's going to come and extend the centre pole up as well and lock that in. And then he'll make his way to the rear of the camper and extend the last bow pole up and lock that one in as well. Alrighty guys, we've got the shell of the camper up now and we're about to put the Annex on. But the first thing I want to say, and this is one of the most important tips I'll give you, grab your phone out of your pocket, take a photo of how the cushions are laid out, because it's like Tetris and it's the easiest way is to put them back the way that we already have them. So a quick photo, you've got it on your phone, every time you go to set up, you know where to put them back when you pack up, and now we can take the cushions out and get into the proper setup. Alrighty, well now we've got the shell of the camper up. Next thing we're going to do is put the Annex on. Now, very, very good tip. Just inside your fridge slide, you have your Annex pole diagram. So what we're going to do now is quickly lay the poles out on the ground where we want them before we get into it, because that'll make setup a lot easier. Alrighty guys, so I've got the Annex roof in front of me and I have my external skeleton poles laid out where I need them. So what we're going to do now is start off with our number 1 poles. You've got the little eyelet on the pole, so you want to make sure that eyelet comes through the hole, and that's actually what's going to hold it in place. So what we'll do now is feed the zipper in up here, and we're going to zip the Annex roof all the way over and then push the Velcro down on top to give it that second seal. From there, we'll just zip it the whole way across. So we've got it across the apex, we'll just zip down to the other end. Holding it up as you go is also a very good tip to do it. Now it's time for my little tip of the day. The little window poles that you have a little hook on the end. You can extend them to give you that little bit of extra reach, and they're very good for putting the Velcro down on top. So we've got the number 1 poles hanging down. What we're going to do is release them, let them extend out a little bit, lock them back in. And then underneath you're going to notice you've got these little Velcro tabs. So what I'm going to do now is work my way along and Velcro each number 1 pole into those tabs. As easy as that. So once we've got all the number 1 poles Velcroed in, that gives a little bit of rigidity to the Annex roof. And what we're going to do is just start at the front and work our way down. So we'll bring the first pole out. Grab one of the poles with the spigots on the end, let it drop down a little bit, and then you can see with the plastic tab at the end, spigot goes through the hole like that, and then we can set it up. So what you want to do is try and set it up at about eye level. You can always raise it up later, it's a lot easier. And then what we'll do now is I'll get Matt to pass the next pole over. So these are going to be your cross beams. And a really good tip for everybody out there is these poles have two parts. They have a thin part and a thick part. You always want the thick part facing to the ceiling because that will stop any condensation getting down inside the pole. So we'll then throw this one on top. We'll extend it out just a fraction. And by holding this cross member, it actually gives me control of the wall. This also means that you can set up an annex by yourself. Always easier with two people, but can definitely set one up by yourself as well. So another really good tip is I also set the actual skeleton of the annex up just outside the depth of the annex roof. That gives you a bit more room to work with without having to worry about the canvas. And you'll also see once you start to get the frame up as well, it'll also freestand for you and make it a lot easier as you move along. So now you can see we've got the skeleton of the actual annex roof set up. So what we do now is just adjust it back. Inside the annex roof here, you'll see there's little eyelets. These eyelets have to go over the top of the spigots, and then you have a little bungee cord with a hook which hooks into the little holes here. So what we'll do now, adjust the skeleton of it, put the roof over, lock it in place, and then we can extend it up and put spreader bars in. So now we've got all the spigots through the little eyelets and we have the bungee cords on. Now we can just extend them out so that the canvas roof, the annex roof, sits nice and smooth. We'll get Matt to start at one end, I'll start at the other. Another great thing about the Austrack campers annexes is they also will give you a bit of a helping hand while setting up. So if I drop this down a little bit, see how this pulls tight and doesn't look right? And then if I go up too high, see how it starts going wavy like that? As you come down, you'll sort of find that sweet spot where it sits nice and flush like that. And that's how you know you've set your annex roof at the right height. So last thing we need to do is put your two external side legs on. Very easy, undo the latch, slide them out. It's got a C-clamp on the end. You're just going to click it over right near where the bungee cord is, like that. Leg to the ground. Lock it in, and then again bring your bungee down and lock that in as well. And I'll just repeat the process at the other end. So locked in, bungee cord in. So that's the whole skeleton of the van done. Now all we need to do is just give it a bit of strength in the structure. So once you come under putting the spreader poles in, you can see, for example, C-clamp on this end, C-clamp on the other. Now the middle of the annex is always going to be higher, so it's a lot easier to clamp it on in the middle, extend it out, and then clamp it onto the lower end. At the top here, you're also going to see you've got your little Velcro tabs. I use those as guides. So one on the inside, clamped on. I'll extend it out, one on the inside, clamped on, extend it out to give it a bit of tension, lock it in, then repeat the process as we move our way down. Next one, I'll go the inside again, locked on, extend it out, locked on, locked in like that. I'm just going to repeat the process as I move down. So now that we've got the annex roof on, next thing we're going to do is put this front wall on so we can attach the ensuite. Really easy tip to make it easier. On the inside of the wall, you've got a little white tag. In the corner of the roof, there's also a white tag. You're just matching the tag to that tag. So this one's 2023001C. This one's 2023001C. So I know that these two match. So I'm just going to lift it up. And zip it across. Once I've zipped it all the way across, you're going to see you've got your little Velcro tabs. I'm going to line the pole up with it. Velcro around like that, Velcro around like that. It really is as easy as zip and Velcro. So we've got the Annex wall on, now we're going to attach the ensuite. Same principle as the Annex roof and the Annex wall, it's just zip and Velcro, very easy to do. So we'll slide that in here. And we'll zip it across. So once we've zipped it across, we push the Velcro down on the roof, like that. And then the walls are just Velcro. It's really, really easy to set up. That's what I love about the Austrack campers. The Annexes aren't a nightmare, they're very easy to set up. So all I'm doing is going about 6 inches intervals, like this. So I'll grab that. I'll go down about 6 inches, join it there, and then smooth the Velcro across the top of it. And that's the easiest way to do it. So I'm going to do that all the way down, all the way on the other side, and then we'll pole it out. So once you get it going, it's very easy then just to follow it down. So like I said, 6 inches at a time, smooth it on, another 6 inches, always tucking the wall in behind, like that, smooth it flat, and we'll just work our way down. So you can see on the side here too, there's also 3 Velcro tabs. So what we'll do is work our way down and Velcro each one of these on. So once you've Velcroed the walls onto the pole, then we're just going to put a guide rope over the top of each spigot, peg them down on a bit of a 45-degree angle, so you've got one pulling that way, one pulling this way, and then that will hold your ensuite in place. So you just tension the guide ropes up nicely like that, and that'll hold your ensuite in place, easy as that.
Austrack! Austrack! Austrack campus!